Hey ComiConverge fans, Aaron Sagers here, and I am at WonderCon 2019, and we are about to talk to the cast of Dark Phoenix, the final chapter of the X-Men saga, and I'm going to ask them what they think about the X-Men joining the MCU. Check it out. So, just to kick things off, with Dark Phoenix, obviously the Scott and Jean relationship, that's a real underpinning of the comics and in the film franchise. So, how do we really see that relationship evolve in this next and potentially final chapter of the X franchise? You want to start, Tye?
Sure. Yeah, I think, we find the characters 10 years later, and the relationship that Scott and Jean have is much more, it's flourishing, and they're very much in love, and they have a routine. And then suddenly they have this mission that goes wrong, and Jean starts, experiencing this overtaking of this darker power, and that suddenly throws the relationship into, starts spiraling, and even the relationships between all of the X-Men start to become really complicated.
Obviously, what's great about the movie industry and sort of this peak geek is that you guys are involved in so many cool different types of franchises. When you're like showing up to work on Dark Phoenix, are you geeking out about one another's work? And what is it? What are you geeking out about with one another?
Well, you've never seen Game of Thrones.
Never.
And I've never seen Ready Player One.
That's okay. That's all right. But there's like how many seasons? 8?
8. It's too much to catch up on now.
I know, it's too late.
It's too late.
So just give it up, right?
So just don't bother.
One day when I have a terrible flu.
Yeah, exactly. When you have a terrible flu. I don't really have an excuse for not watching Ready Player One, but
that's all right. Come on, you're busy.
Joey loves it.
That's like movie poster ready. Like Game of Thrones. Watch it when you have a terrible flu. That's a terrible thing to say.
Well, no, I mean you just need a lot of time to watch 8 seasons.
You can't
of TV.
work. You can't see friends. If you want to catch up on it quick.
It's very addicting.
Yeah, I think so.
I've spoken to friends about watching Game of Thrones. I'm like, man, I think I'm going to start the show. You're like, dude, why don't you dive in?
Yeah, you're not getting out. You're in.
Well, with Dark Phoenix, I mean, does it feel like a conclusion to this story? Does it feel like a final chapter to the X franchise?
It definitely feels like, this is the culmination of all of the past movies. Kind of, it's all been leading up to this. I think the way the movie kind of rounds off, there's always, I think you said it's the booze.
It's the booze.
It's the booze.
Boots with a T.
Boots with a T.
It would make WonderCon fun, right?
Yeah. It would. Look at those, very high.
I know, that's impressive.
It is.
The way that this movie rounds off, there's definitely potential for more. But it's also quite a wonderful way to close the chapter if we were to do that. So it's open, it's up to Disney now.
Yeah. Well, would you guys, I mean, certainly your sister from the other show has expressed interest in coming into the X universe with you and joining jeangrey. She's in New Mutants, so would you like to experience that adventure of you guys kicking all sorts of mutant butt together, getting you in there as well?
Yeah, that would be fun.
So what is Storm's voice in Dark Phoenix?
Well, equality. I'm just kidding. No, but really, I mean, when it comes to Storm, she is trying so hard to just keep everyone together. I think it's really hard. The last time we saw everyone, we were just kind of becoming the X-Men, and after 10 years of being in a band, sometimes people want to go solo. And you kind of got to reel people in and keep everyone together, and she is so much about family and very family oriented and wanting to keep everyone around each other and keep things peaceful. I mean, she's such the peacemaker majority of the time. She can also be a beautiful voice of reason because she was the last one to kind of join the gang.
Yeah. If they extended the invitation and said, welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, would you say, yeah, you know what, I'm in, I'm here?
Totally. But what I would be gunning for would be for there to be a solo Storm movie. I think people want to see that. I think they need to see that.
All right, well, before I let you go, in Dark Phoenix, do you get to really mix it up with any of the other heroes? Is there some epic fight scenes that we should look for?
There are some epic fight scenes. You get to see Storm throwing hail, traveling through lightning, blowing people up. I mean, what I enjoyed so much about filming Dark Phoenix was the amount of stunts that I actually was able to do. And I think that everyone's going to be really surprised. Last time people were like, all right, let's get more of her moving around. Let's see how powerful she can get. And I think that with this movie, especially having to fight Dark Phoenix, you're going to see her really using her powers and really pushing for that and really getting nitty and gritty. A lot of hand-to-hand combat with Storm, so I'm really excited.
Typically, Nightcrawler in the comics, you know, he has a spiritual side and a very serious side, and I think a lot of times in the films we see more of that serious side. But with Dark Phoenix, do we get what kind of Nightcrawler are we getting in Dark Phoenix?
To tell the truth, I feel in the in my first kind of opportunity of portraying in the installment of Apocalypse, he was the kind of what's the word, humorous, like, relief. Whereas in this one, I feel like that he begins as that kind of vulnerable, innocent archetype, but he definitely gets these certain opportunities through the struggles that they're going through and the crisis of a loved one struggling. The frustration builds, and he ultimately has that arc that goes from that innocent to a very kind of vengeful, aggressive, savage kind of Nightcrawler when the time comes. So it was exciting to play that side of him.
Yeah. I'm worried about Cyclops. I don't know that if he's enough of a match for a super-powered being as a girlfriend. I don't know. Is he?
We'll see.
We'll see. Is he?
You should see him in the bedroom. It's crazy.
Well, there's a soundbite for you right there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. All right, ComiConverge fans, thanks for geeking out with us at WonderCon and checking out all of our amazing coverage. We look forward to seeing you at the next con.